Good morning, everybody. Another nice day here at the farm in Blue Mountain. And you can see we're above 800,000 now. We sold the soybean yesterday. We did take on a contract to harvest field 28, one of the big fields, as you know, and used the trailer for that to take the soybeans to a little shop, and we also used the trailer for that to buy some more manure from Smokies. So our goal is beginning to be closer and closer. In the real world, I'm going to be going back to work very soon. So these will slow down a bit, but hopefully because they're being uploaded a fair bit later. You won't miss out on any. I do have to upload some more to YouTube this weekend. But yeah, so all things exciting. So let's have a quick look at where these are in terms of, so 24 sunflowers, as you can see, is ready to harvest this morning. Now because we messed up on that, we've got a yield potential of 83%, unfortunately, but I'm interested to see once I've harvested how much N, if any, remains in the ground, given that we've put too much in the first place. And then I'm going to have to think what crop I'm going to put there next based on that data. As you know, a crop like soybean certainly doesn't want any N added, so I would be looking to have a 0 N left in the field. But on this occasion I don't think that will be the case because, as I say, I messed up. And it was me. Ooh. Come across here. Grass is needing cut again. I shall go and quickly just open up our shop here. Switch off this light. So I'm going to take Trigger out for a bit of a run before we get down to harvesting the top field, I think. Let's see, where is he? Let's come and switch this light off as well. I can't remember if the other one's on or not. There we go. Oops. Need to let Trigger warm up a little bit before we go galloping. So I'll see you in a little bit once I've got Trigger back and we're ready to start harvesting. Oops, missed a bit. I'll catch it in a minute though. And you can probably see from the little mini map there that there's certainly more orange than green on this map, but that's, as you know, not unexpected. we'll take a closer look at it in a minute. I'll come back for that little strip. Probably have to empty this. Let's see if we can. Yeah, I'll have a little bit left anyway. Due to my poor steering skills. But yeah. So I decided I'm not going to go up and look at these canola fields because I've just thought about it and I thought, well, if they haven't done their soil sampling as yet, then I won't be able to get the data that I need. So take a bit of a risk and not put any manure on it. After this, we'll just have a look at getting it ploughed, cultivated and so on, and then see what we need. Oh, will I get this last little titchy bit in here? What's the betting that we do? Oh, just. There we go. I think that's pretty much all of it I can see. Come on up here. I'm looking at these really odd. So the pH has gone down a little bit, as you can see, as you would expect. Now, you could at this point put the pH on, but we're going to look to try and do it after every third harvest and see what happens. This has got 180k of nitrogen still in bits. That is quite high, and certainly sort of crops I'd be looking 140 down in this greener bit. Let's put in canola. I think canola at least. I mean, I know wheat also does use quite a fair amount of nitrogen as well. But I don't really want to grow wheat at the moment. I'd much prefer to do canola. So I shall put this in the workshop. It'll need cleaned up and we'll give it a little bit of maintenance and then we'll fill it with fuel. And I'll come back and grab our tractor. Actually, I might just park it just outside at the moment because I'm thinking that I wanted to check where the weeder's at because it's probably needing a bit of work done to it maybe. So let me just quickly go and have a look at that. Now I will reset, as you know, I'm planning to reset the top field economics before I put in the next crop, so that's likely going to be just before I plough it. Yeah, I just want to give this weeder a bit of a check over and a quick clean. Just to switch off that mini map a second. It's actually looking not bad, so it might be alright maintenance wise, but we'll just have a quick look. Yeah, we'll give it a bit of repair work. It probably would start running slow the next time we used it, and the next time I got the contractor to use it, since I've not really been using it myself. There we go. Oops. Hit that manhole at not a great angle. So I'll take the plough up because that is the next thing on the list for that top field. And then, as I say, we'll have a better look at the map, the yield map, and just see how badly we did. Oh, contractor's got that window open. He's left my back one open. No. Okay, I'll open the back one. I prefer the back one to the front one open. Although when it gets really hot, it's nice to get a bit of a through breeze. Problem is you end up getting all the flies and everything coming in as well. So I need to take the lorry and the trailer down. So I'm just going to jump out and go do that. I'm thinking there's not going to be an awful lot in here. Yeah, it's not a particularly good harvest. So see if you remember, that's just over 17.5 because we would like to compare it to the other one once it's ready, which is probably going to be tomorrow. It's a little bit high in nitrogen, I think, but not nearly as high as this one was. I'm certainly expecting more green when I look at the yield map for that one than the one we just did. But yeah, we can't, the nitrogen levels are still way too high to put anything such like soy or anything in there, which needs 0. Just cut around the back here. I should just put a little track in here actually, because I tend to use it quite a lot, and the trigger doesn't come this far back. Yep. It doesn't even matter how far away you get from these things, they still sound noisy. So yeah, I've got a fair bit actually. I never showed you. I did mention that I'd gotten. I did mention that I had got some manure last night. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times I went up, but you can see we're now over 200,000 litres using that larger trailer that we had got for doing the contract. It was 48,000 I think it held. And I did everything. More importantly, yesterday at least, it wasn't so much for grapes but manure we wanted it for. Right, I'm back up this field. I'm quite glad I didn't take the tractor all the way up. It does get quite steep. Right, top field, pH is still quite high. pH is okay. Nitrogen, yeah, it's still pretty high. And yield, which is what we really want to look at, that's just not good. So the predicted yield that we could expect was 83% of what we might have had we got the inputs right, which we clearly didn't. So we've certainly got way more orange than green. So the dark orange, as you can see, is we're looking at, 75%, between 70 and 75% loss of yield. Not loss of yield, sorry, less. Until I get this right in my head. Less than the predicted yield in these areas, right? Because the inputs were wrong. And then we were looking at the green areas. They weren't too bad. We were getting between 95% in these little bits, which where the nitrogen was possibly not quite as high. As you may remember, if you run down here and look, see, the sunflowers, they don't want any more than 80 kilograms per hectare of nitrogen, and that field's also over, even though we didn't we did just do the manure before we sowed, but we really should have been looking at the levels of nitrogen already in the ground before we did that as well. So, as I say, we're not going to add any more. I think canola, and I'm not going to say for definite, that canola requires around 200 kilograms per hectare. So if that's true, then we're okay to put canola in here. If it's wrong, then it's probably going to, and it's less than what's already here, then yeah, we're going to affect the yield again. Fingers crossed. It is 200. I'm pretty sure that wheat is. I actually ran across there to see if they'd done any soil sampling, but they hadn't. So, pressing wrong again. So as I say, all we're going to do here is plough it, cultivate it, and get somebody in to sow it, because it'll be a little John Deere, and I'm not as good with that as I am with the other one because it doesn't have any ridge markers. Okay. I haven't looked at price for sunflowers because I'm going to wait till we've also done the other field. Oh, maybe we should have had a look at the economics actually, quickly. I actually do want to now reset them. Now, as far as I could tell, I don't really understand how the total earnings work in this yet, because we will get a lot more than that for when we sell that sunflowers. Way more than that. So I'm not quite sure how that works out, unless it's more to do with what's up in the top bit. But as you can see, it's cleared off the lime, etc. from the last time. So this is really, it's reset some of that data since we last did it. But I'm going to reset it again now, because I think I checked the other day then, I don't think it when I'm ploughing, it doesn't seem to take into account. We'll have a look in a minute. The fuel costs and that from ploughing through. It might have done if, or it might do if I'd got a contract to do it. And that might be something I'll look at some point, but certainly if I'm doing it, clearly I'm free. Clearly I cost nothing, and yeah, and I'm covering the cost of the fuel out of my own pocket, so there's no cost to the farmer, which is a bit weird, but there we go. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at the economic data again in a little bit. I don't think it clears the, I mean it is, I think as far as I know that only clears the economic data. I don't think you can get rid of the map showing our poor yield, unfortunately. I'd quite like to quite happily bin that and go, yeah, never happened, nothing to see here. But I think unfortunately that will remain with us until the next harvest, which we hope shall be perfect. If I can get the right crop in here. And then get the nitrogen correct. It's a bit daunting. Alright, so yeah, sorry, I'm drifted off because as I often do when I'm ploughing, because I quite like doing this, and I just find it nice and relaxing just to do. But I'm aware that for you watching, it's not so much enjoyable. So pause here and come back to you in a bit, okay? So we've popped up here in the little Miranda to have a look at how the sowing of the canola is going. We've already got some weeds coming through, as you can see. You can see at the moment the nitrogen is reading perfect, and it's going 140 kilograms a hectare. Now, looking at, let me just take that off. I think I just reset it by accident there. Did I hit the wrong button? Oh well. Never mind. It's not so important. What's important for us here is soil type. So it's reading perfect here at 140. And I come down here, it's only okay because I've got 180 over 140. So it's not going to be perfect because we've still got quite high. I did think after we'd just done the first one of just stopping and just going, you know what, let's just put wheat in here or something, because I'm sure that has a higher nitrogen need. But here, because I guess it might be back on a different soil type again, 180 is fine there. So overall, we're not going to get a perfect over the whole field. That's just not going to happen. What I did do is, and usually you see I did put fertiliser in the back of this, but it'll only put it where it's needed. So where it's like sitting okay, it won't have put any additional fertiliser on this, in theory anyway. I hope he hasn't. So he'll only, where it was less than that, they might have. So like here where it's 120, they should at that point put additional fertiliser in. We might just jump in with them for a second, just to turn this on, just to have a look at that menu there and see. Stop, misses. There we go. So you can see here the flags below the red line, so it's high here. So if we look at the fertiliser in the back of this, it's not reducing at all. It's holding steady at 562. It's not going to put any down here because it won't need it. So yeah, so there we go. So I mean, even though the canola is not going to be perfect, it's going to be not too bad. And hopefully when we do it in there, because it's not quite as high in values, it'll be better. I'll just jump out in a minute and just wait till we get to the end here, I think. And there we go. Right. So I guess that's what it is at the moment. As I say, I did think I could have just stopped and just went and decided to try wheat instead. I think that drill, by the way, is a direct drill, so I wouldn't have had to do anything other than come back up and go over what we put in with wheat. But because it's not bad, it's still giving me an okay. It's not giving me a bad. I'm just going to leave it. It'll drop a bit further, and next time it certainly won't be soya in there next because it'll still be too high, I would expect. But perhaps we'll give some thought to what we might put in there after the canola. It could end up being a cereal crop. There we go. And I wanted to actually go, well, I'll just park up now that I've come here, because I was going to be heading to do a little bit of work on our harvester. I noticed that I'd left the lights on. I didn't even know I'd put the lights on clearly. And then when I was coming down to the contractor to get the swing machine, as I call it, cedar, I did notice that the lights were on, so we put them off, but it should be okay. But once that's done and so on, that's going to be me, I think. I might have a quick look for a small contract. Oh, by the way, you can see I just threw a load of seed down there. I put it out of the auger because I wasn't sure whether I might be better putting fertiliser in it or not, so I just dumped the seed, so I'll need to, yeah, before I finish tonight, I'll need to go and get the bucket and scoop that up and get it either back in the auger, or I might just put it in the silo. But let's have a look at this. I'll have a look at the, see if I can just drive over there and drop that off for now. Give it a wash. Actually, I'll just have a look at maintenance first. It needs a little bit. Now I'll pick that up again. Come back this way a bit. Drop that down in there. Right. Yeah, definitely did a bit of work. So attach her back up, we'll give them both a wash. And I can put it away. Of course, I need the header for the development field when it's ready, which is probably going to be tomorrow. Still looks to be a bit of wear on that, but you know, I've seen a wee bit of use. Okay. Oh, fuel, that's the other thing I needed to do with this, wasn't it? So I'll refuel it first as well. While we remember. Hopefully I'm close enough. Yep. And close it back up. And there we go, that's it now till I can get that seed cleaned up. It's a lovely day. It's not too late. Gotta wait for the contractor to finish up there anyway. Hey, trigger. Looking lovely and settled out. So you can clearly see where I'm headed, although I will have to go change. But yeah, if I take the cover off of it, let the sun. I do have issues with this, don't I? Oh, come on, you silly cover. Work. Work. Why aren't you working? I'm sure I'm in the right. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. I wonder if it's just to the left then. Probably. Anyway. I'm good to go and get changed, grab a towel, can throw it up on there, and then I shall go and have a wee dip and cool off in this hot, sticky day. Right. I've done that. Note. I shall say goodbye for now, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it and you will join us again for the next episode. We are slowly creeping up towards our final target figure. So yeah, catch you again. Bye.